Hello, we're on Owendale, Michigan map, and I've had some questions on how I would get started on this map. So let's jump in. I'm going to show you what I would do. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is max out our money. It only lets you borrow $500,000 here, which is interesting because you have a net worth of about $3 million, but it limits you to $500,000. So does have a little bit of a damper on the loan borrowing. So my first thing, since these fields are so big, I'm going to upgrade this harvester. Okay, we've gone to the shop and we traded our harvester for the biggest one, AF11 case. Okay, and I got the header that has the trailer built in. So that's going to help us out here. And we got the AIs going and they're going to do that. So what we're going to do now is sell some of our equipment. Okay, we're going to sell this bucket here, this beaver tail trailer, thing that was on the back of it. I'm going to sell this header. I'm going to sell the quickie. I'm going to sell this small farm tech. Okay, I'm going to sell that, but I got to come back to that. I'm going to sell the TranStar. I'm going to sell this, and that's a lease. I'm getting rid of that because that's cutting into my money. Let's see, I'm going to sell the Kubota, and I don't like the Load Star just because, so I'm going to sell that, keep the Mac, sell this trailer I don't need. I got plowing turned off, and I'm going to sell the Skoda because I got a little pickup of my own. All right, let's go look at my international truck. This, before I sell it, I got to pull this out. It's full of fuel. Okay, now I'm going to sell the international truck, and there you go. Okay, first things first, I want to buy this dryer because you don't own it. So I'm going to buy that for $300 grand. Okay, I'm down to $300,000, and I got to get some stuff too. What I'm going to do is lease an apparatus to pick up this straw, and I also need to purchase a trailer. Okay, a pretty good deal on a trailer is from the Highlands Fishing expansion. That's this one, and it holds 32, but that'll certainly get me rolling here. Oh, there's that bucket I got to sell. Bucket. I'm going to pull this out a little bit. I have to take it to the shop and do some work on this thing. Okay, I got to go to the shop and pick up my trailer so I can empty my harvester. Okay, to give me a little working income, I'm going to put a greenhouse in here. Two greenhouses. All right, let me turn those on. So I got my grain dryer, and I'm doing barley right now, so that's coming. And I'll be doing wheat, I think. Greenhouse. Greenhouse. And my water pump to distribute. It's going to water my greenhouses for me. Okay, we dumped our first load of barley in there into our grain dryer. However, we got to add propane. So what I'm going to do is buy a small tank. Later, I'd like to get a bigger one. Right now, I'm just going to have to get a little one and put some propane in there. Okay, you're going to find the tanks under animals. You just got to be careful that you get the right one that's going to carry the propane, okay? And this is it here, 25 grand. I'm going to go ahead and get this little one. Okay, this is where you buy the propane. It's not cheap. You'll see some money click off when I fill this thing up. Okay, so that was $24,000 for this small 8,000 liter tank. So $3 a liter. Pretty good chunk. All right, we're picking up our second load here of barley out of this field. While that's draining, I'm going to put this propane in here. And this tank does not back up well, so what I'm going to do is go out here. Come back in beside it, because if you don't get it right, you can't back. Let's turn this on. Okay, that's on, that's on. And it has propane in there, so it's now working. Starting to do some dried barley, look at that. And I'll get a lot more for the dried barley than I will regular barley. When you look at the prices here, barley tops out at $11.37. Even when you take out the cost of the propane, dried barley is $16.35 in January, so that's pretty good. All right, now this one needs the weights on the front. It doesn't come with it, and you cannot pull that thing without the weights. I got to run it over to the shop. It's going to cost me like $3,300, but I want to do it while I'm sure I have the money. Okay, so you go down to front weight, hit that, $3,350, but you have to have that to pull that cultivator that you have. Okay, just want to show you my little water distributor is starting to water my greenhouses. Not enough for a whole hour, but it will be on the next hour. So that's an automatic. Okay, I'm down here at the shop, and what I got to do is get some kind of forage wagon. And what I'm going to do is get a mod, the Lizard TARDIS. Okay, that's this one. And I'm going to max out the capacity so it holds 260,000 meters. I'm not partial to this blue color, so I'm going to change that. And I'm only going to lease it because I'm going to get rid of this. I'm trying not to do things with straw once I'm done with this wheat and barley. Fields are so big, you don't need but a couple of crops here. Okay, we are off and picking up straw. We just unloaded our harvester again, the third load, and put into the grain dryer. So it's starting to happen here. Like I say, my plan is to get rid of this forage wagon once I'm done with these two fields, but that's going to take a minute. Okay, I'm looking for the Bell sell point. I have our first big load, 260,000 liters of straw here. And this is the highest price right now. Now, I could come out more if I did it in January. However, I don't have anywhere to store it, to wait till January. And I'm not investing in that because I don't want to do straw. Let's see how much we're going to get here. All right, $26,864. I'll take it because it's going to add up. Because we were down to 153. Now I'm up to 180 again now. Still got a few things to buy, a lime spreader, fertilizer. I won't need those till after I sell this stuff in January though. But I do need a trailer to haul it in, which is going to be around 100 grand. All right, let's get back to the farm. Okay, I just want to show you on the setup. What I did is I turned fuel off. I should have done it as soon as I started the game, but I forgot. But I turned fuel off because I have that 3,750 gallons of fuel that I can use for now. So that way I wouldn't be spending money right now for fuel. So some other settings there. I have crop destruction off, periodic plowing off, and fieldstone off. Okay, I'm almost done with this field. Got a little bit to go. I'm going to go ahead and start my AI doing the cultivator. Remember, I had to add a weight to this tractor in order for it to work with this piece of gear here because it's too heavy. All right, he's going. Okay, check it out. We bought that other piece of land there full of soybeans. We bought this piece of property and this piece of property. And we are doing well with money. I've paid back all of our loan and we have $43,000 in the bank. Now I'm using some of that for fertilizer. So I'm going to the next day and I'm going to start harvesting the soybeans. Well, the soybeans weren't ready in October, so I went on into November and they are now ready. But I am out of propane, so I got to go grab a couple of things of propane and put in my propane dryer there. Okay, check it out. I sold since we're doing okay on money, because I got 14 grand, I'd have no money borrowed. I sold my little tank and I bought the big tank that you pull with this truck, because I'm making too many trips a day with that little tank. And yes, it's going to cost to fill this up, so I'm going to have to borrow some more money now. But once I get start selling my crop there, I should be okay here in January. Okay, guys, I filled this trailer up with propane. It was $96,000, quite a chunk of change. At least I had paid back all my loan. Of course, I had to borrow that, but not too bad. We're not too bad in the hole. I can pay back some of this before I go to the next day. I wasn't sure how much it was going to take, so there you go. It's so early. It's only 5:45 because I like to start a harvest at 5 because you never know what the weather is going to do in case it rains. That's why it's still dark out. All right, we'll get this in the dryer and go check on our soybean guy. Okay, guys, we've harvested all of our soybeans. It is now January, so I went and purchased a crampy trailer with a loan, but then I hauled all my wheat and barley to the market. Let me show you my finances here. I got $647,000 for my wheat and barley. So we've paid back all of our loan and I got $512,000 to the good. And I have about another 550,000 in soybeans that I'll sell over the summer. So we are doing well. We still got to buy a seeder. Remember, I leased that. I'm down here in my other little building area that I purchased. I have these two, you know, now. And it is snowing, but we got all our stuff to the market. So that's how I would get started on Owendale, Michigan. Now, what I would do next, I still got to purchase a seeder, but probably what I'm going to do is purchase a building and put over here where I took away these barns. So I have the real estate now. Maybe when the snow clears in the spring, I'll do that. Let's just look at our map here. Remember we bought the extra field that was soybeans. It came with these two. So we're pretty set. So what we're going to do is plant soybeans in here, maybe, or there. Soybeans in here, sorghum there, and I have canola here. And put those in our dryer and sell those again, and we'll come out. But that way with those crops, we don't have any straw to pick up. So there you go. So that's it. That's how I get started on Owendale, Michigan. It's a great map. It's a lot of fun to do. I like this dryer. Don't forget, you don't have a silo, so you got to purchase this dryer. But share this with your farming buddies. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll see you on the next go-round. I'm Farmer Teacher. Bye-bye.